Ahoy lads, Sam here, with a new series called It's a Long Way to Get Good. I'm making this series and it's meant to cover more specific tactics that I don't believe fit a general PvP guide or how to get better at PvP itself. I'm going to start by talking about Greatshields. I don't want to just do what many guides have done and say, use Magic Shield or Great Magic Shield. I want to get away from using that in this guide. Instead, I'm going to focus on how to use a Great Shield effectively, especially when fighting multiple opponents. In this clip, I'm using Havel's Great Shield, which is a ton of stability and great block rate. It's really heavy. The amount of strength it requires to wield it pretty much forces me into a strength build. And I'm not exactly playing this perfectly against this guy and his previous Phantom, but I'm using the Great Shield to keep up pressure on him. I can stay right in his face because he's not going to guard break me. There's not much to say about the end of this clip other than the host panicking and dying because he was panicking. Instead, I'm going to take it back just a minute earlier and take a look at what happened. The host falls into a predictable pattern of only attacking me once and then rolling away. There were a few missed earlier attempts. However, I managed to get this attack to connect, and predicting that he will roll immediately, I roll catch him again. Using a Great Shield like Havel's Great Shield and keeping up pressure to get hits in isn't a bad idea. It's not my preferred way of using a Great Shield. In the clip, you may have noticed I'm using a large weapon, a curved greatsword, in my right hand one-handed because it still has poise. I have a decent amount of poise on that build, so I'm going to be able to tank hits with small weapons and keep swinging. In this clip, I am using my preferred setup. I'm using the Wolf Knight Great Shield. I prefer it because it has weapon skill. I like pairing that with weapons that have really good weapon arts, like the Herald or Gundir's Halberd. Let's take a look at this clip that we just went past. This gentleman dodges my attack and rolls in, and then parries. Because he whiffs and he's right in front of me, I'm able to hit him with the full weapon art from the Herald. After that, the host is backpedaling, trying to get his Estus in. I'm able to keep up a lot of pressure on him with the Great Shield as long as I keep my stamina decently high, because I can just tank hits and trade with him. And while I'm doing this, I'm attempting to punish his Estus heals. Using the Wolf Knight Great Shield instead of Havel's Great Shield gives me the weapon skill bonus, but it does take away a little bit from my block rates. And I'm using the Wolf Knight Great Shield instead of something like the Black Knight Shield because of the slightly better block rates and a few other properties that Great Shields get, like much better running attacks and stun time. In this clip here, things aren't going so well at the moment. I'm getting hit pretty hard by the host and the Phantom. I'm pretty low on health, and they have some good chase down weapons. Great Shields really shine in invasions or while ganking and you're fighting multiple people. It's a pressure tool and a pressure reliever tool. You might think, looking at this first bit here, I'm not making much of a difference, just blocking a few hits from him. I'm not simply hoping for the PvE to hit him. That's nice if that happens. What I'm trying to do is leave a open window for either myself to attack or my co-invaders to get an easy hit. We already saw some pressure tactics that I was able to use with the Great Shield in some previous clips, but what I mean by pressure relief tool or something that opens a window for attack is exactly what just happened here. They're so focused on hitting me and trying to guard break me, punish me, or whatnot. They have that tunnel vision, and an Aldrich Faithful is able to sneak up behind them and attack them. It might seem like a fool's errand to two-hand the Great Shield and attack someone, but the Great Shield actually does a decent amount of damage and has some good stun time, making it good for chase downs or allowing you to hit somebody and for them to get hit by somebody else. It also hits further and wider than I would expect it to. Because I'm chasing him and using that running attack with the Great Shield, which comes out very fast, he isn't able to Estus heal right there. It's a shame I hit the Aldrich too with that Great Shield attack. Look at that stun time. He's stunned for a long time. I'd say when you're fighting people with a Great Shield, you need to be mindful of chip damage and how much you're taking and if it's worth it or not. Sometimes it's better to target somebody else or just be mindful of how much chip damage is coming in. You also need to be mindful of some attacks that do a lot of stamina damage because you don't want to end up getting guard broken. This might be one of the few times where it really is worth it to carry both the Chloranthy Ring +3 and some green moss. This isn't necessarily Great Shield related, but because this guy did the third attack with the Farron Greatsword earlier, I predict that he's going to do it again. I'm very confident roaming around him with my Great Shield, and I backstab him very easily. That'll about do it for this little episode about Great Shields. My next episode in this series is going to be about what I call full desyncs, and that's a special property that happens in some invasions. I'm going to explain what that is. Please feel free to leave me a comment as to what else you might like me to cover. I might even cover that before this full desync thing. Who knows? If you do the like and subscribe thing, it helps me reach more people. Other than that, keep playing Dark Souls 3, guys. Have a good one.